And just like that, the 2023-2024 NFL regular season is over. So what better way to recap what just went down over the last 18 weeks than reminiscing on the single most tilting moments? That's right, everyone. It is the Fantasy Life Sheesh Awards. Call them the Sheeshies if you like. My goal today is to go through all of the sorts of beyond the box score near miss moments that simply made fantasy managers say sheesh throughout the season. As always, it's a great day to be great. We'll start things off with the top 5 sheesh moments from the regular season, with number 5 being Josh Allen and Gabe Davis failing to connect on what should have been a 22-yard walk-off touchdown against the Eagles. Miscommunication, you could see it in the face of Josh Allen and the coaches afterwards. Everyone knew they missed an opportunity here, and everything was made that much more sheeshful by Jalen Hurts and company using their overtime opportunity to score a walk-off touchdown. Say it with me, Bills fans. Sheesh. Number 4, Amari Cooper steps out of bounds on what should have been a long 60-plus yard touchdown. But wait, he didn't actually step out of bounds. This one was absolutely brutal, everyone. We're used to seeing the whistle blown dead on pretty close strip sack sorts of plays that happen in a bang-bang motion. Not exactly when the official is standing right there on the sideline and limits Cooper's potential to just a 25-yard gain. Coulda, shoulda, woulda been a 62-yard house call. Instead, here we are sheeshing. Number 3, Chiefs wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling drops what should have been a go-ahead long touchdown late in the Chiefs' eventual loss to the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes had already driven the Chiefs down the midfield after getting the ball at his own 9-yard line with just 2:46 remaining on the clock. Then Mahomes lofted a beautiful deep ball to an open MVS. Sadly, though, the drop merchant let the ball bounce off his hands and fall incomplete. More like MV sheesh, am I right? Number 2, Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney has a game-winning Hail Mary literally in his lap, only for the Bears wide receiver to literally kick the ball to a Browns defender, sealing the loss. Yeah, guys, like, has there ever been a better moment to simply say sheesh? This was ridiculous. Sheesh. And the number 1 sheesh of the 2023-2024 regular season goes to none other than Chiefs wide receiver Kadarius Toney for nullifying what could have quite possibly been the single coolest touchdown in NFL history. First, it took a nice throw down the middle from Patrick Mahomes to find Travis Kelce for a chunk gain. Then Kelce went Leroy Jenkins on everybody and managed to throw an unplanned lateral all the way across the field. But hey, it actually worked. Toney caught it and seemingly set the Chiefs up for a late fourth quarter lead over the Bills. One problem, guys, he didn't line up on sides and seemingly didn't check with the official before the play. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were absolutely outraged the evening this happened, only for cooler heads to prevail in the coming days, but not cooler heads for those fantasy managers and anytime touchdown bettors who were left with simply one thing to say after all of this: sheesh. So yeah, those were the top 5 individual sheesh moments from last season, but as we know, sometimes there can't simply be one play to encompass all the sheesh that goes down across 60 minutes of football, and there were 3 specific quarterback performances I wanted to shout out that really proved that as much as scanning a box score can help tell us what went down on the field, it does not tell the whole story, and sometimes that sheesh context matters far more than anyone would ever expect. First, I want to take you guys back to the Chargers matchup against the Packers when Justin Herbert had to literally deal with 4 to 5 drops that killed potential scoring drives. We had, yes, a sun-induced issue with Keenan Allen, and also when Donald Parham drops it over the middle early in the game, I guess we can't be that upset, even if they did kill potential scoring drives. But truly, guys, the sheesh on top of this Sunday ended up being what we saw Quentin Johnston do at the end of the game when Justin Herbert's, again, pearl of a deep ball down the sideline went right off the first-round rookie receiver's hands and fell incomplete, sealing the sheeshy victory for the Green Bay Packers. Again, one of these instances where simply looking at the box score certainly would not tell you the entire story. A similar phenomenon happened to Lamar Jackson during the Ravens' first matchup against the Steelers when he literally, guys, had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, 7 different passes dropped by his pass catchers, including 3 of which sure look like we're going to be touchdowns. 236 scoreless yards in the box score, but as we saw here, a heck of a lot of sheesh to go along with it. And finally, I want to call back the Jaguars' Week 2 loss to the Chiefs because Trevor Lawrence legit had 4 separate potential touchdowns get caught but one problem, his receivers thought they were still in college and only managed to get 1 foot down in bounds. I'm not kidding, guys. I think between Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones specifically, we had at least 7 to 8 instances of this happen throughout the 2023 season, and it does help explain why Trevor Lawrence's counting numbers aren't exactly as high as you might think they are relative to some of the praise that he gets from the ball knowers around the industry. So yeah, another example of the box score not always matching up with reality. Sheesh. So yeah, all 3 of those situations sucked for fantasy managers and bettors to deal with, but you could at least look at and find a culprit in each scenario. It wasn't as easy in this next section when I want to break down the reality that the NFL themselves seemingly still has absolutely no idea what is and what is not a catch. Specifically, guys, Deontay Johnson, Trey McBride, and Calvin Ridley each caught touchdowns this season that the rules analysts on hand, Gene Steratore and Terry McCauley, told us, the viewers, was a touchdown and should be ruled as 6 points, only for the officials calling the game to rule the pass incomplete. Now, I'm not saying these were complete 100% certain plays that obviously should have been ruled a catch. They were close, but I think it'd be a lot easier to accept that they were incomplete if we could have the freaking rules experts on the same page as the officials calling the game. So again, not trying to sit here and make a new reality for everyone, but my goodness, things get sheeshy in a hurry when the guys that are supposed to, be experts on what is and what is not a catch also can't get on the same page. Sheesh. Speaking of near missed touchdowns, guys, nothing is sheeshier to deal with as a fantasy manager than watching your player get all the way down to the 1 yard line and then have someone else gain the final 3 feet and punch the ball across the goal line. That's right, it's the leaderboard for most times stopped at the 1 without scoring a touchdown on the same drive. Specifically, Joe Mixon comes in first with 7 such occurrences of this sheeshi event in 2023. Also had Austin Eckler and DeAndre Swift have 6 such sheeshes throughout the season, with 5 tied for 4th. We had AJ Dillon, Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, and also rounding out our top 11 players, Brian Robinson, David Montgomery, Devin Singletary, Rashad White, and Tony Pollard. So first of all, yes, I agree. I thought DeAndre Swift would be the leader in this as well. The reason is because I included multiple instances of this occurring on the same drive. So if Joe Mixon got stopped at the 1 on 1st down, got stopped again at the 1 on 2nd down, that did count for 2, even if he could have only actually scored 1 total touchdown during that drive. Because, as we know, guys, if DeAndre Swift gets down to the 1 yard line, Lord knows he was not going to get another opportunity to punch the ball across. Just listen to what Jason Kelce was telling Swift after they did get the ball down to the 1.
Every time DeAndre Swift gets tackled at the 1, I just look at him in the huddle. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. Like, you know exactly what we're about to do, and like,
you gotta eat it, man. You gotta eat it. It's 92% best play.
Swift, newsflash: go down at the 2 or get in the end zone. Don't go down at the 1 because it is 100% the next play we're running.
Now, if I had to give out one specific shishi for one specific instance of this happening, I would have to go with Tony Pollard against the Dolphins, because my man's had all kinds of room to score around left end, got pretty much his entire body in the end zone, just not the football. Things were made that much shishier because on the very next play, Dak Prescott and Hunter Luepke failed to get their handoff right, resulting in a fumble and Dolphins ball. Talk about a shishi moment. All right, guys, last category here for you in our 2023-24 shishis. Want to talk about unrealized air yards. Now, this is a fancy way of just saying yards left on the field between a quarterback and their pass catcher. It's not always the quarterback's fault. So, for example, when we look at this Chris Olave play, we can see Derek Carr hit him literally straight in the head for what probably should have been a 30-plus yard touchdown. Can't exactly pin that one on the signal caller. However, when we look at this throw from Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs on what should have been a 90-yard touchdown, it's also tough to blame any of that on Stephon Diggs because he was wide open deep and presumably would have scored with a more accurate pass. So yeah, for better and for worse, we are simply measuring the total yards that were left on the field for wide receivers around the league. Cool? Cool. Anyway, the top 5 and only receivers that managed to have over 1,000 unrealized air yards this season goes to DeAndre Hopkins at number 1, Chris Olave with a mere 4 yards fewer at number 2, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and Garrett Wilson filling out the top 5. Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown, and DK Metcalf fill out the rest of our top 10 here. Again, not exactly the leaderboard you want to be on, so I can't really say congrats. Only thing I can really say here is sheesh. That is it for the 2023-24 Sheeshies. You know, this is a bit of a wonky subject. I will give you guys that. And I do feel a bit ridiculous being a grown man saying sheesh so much, but truly, I do believe that these beyond the box score notes helps us be smarter when talking about these players. Nothing is worse than that person trying to make some sweeping takeaway about a player without even having watched the freaking game. Couldn't be me and couldn't be you, a scholar who just tuned in to find out more about, again, some of the most unlucky players from the 23-24 regular season. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know if there are any other Sheesh moments throughout the year that you think I missed. And yeah, have fun watching the NFL playoffs, and hopefully things are a bit less sheeshy for all the fantasy squads that you happen to manage here in 2024.